Hey guys, it's Alora, and today I'm coming at you with my Christmas book haul. Now, I didn't ask for any of these books specifically for Christmas, but I do have an Amazon wish list, so I kind of pointed my relatives in the direction of that when they asked me what I was wanting for Christmas this year. I hope that you all had a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season, and without further ado, let's jump right in. I'm going to begin with the books that my parents got me. So the first book that I received from them is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This book is loosely based upon Slavic/Polish/Russian folklore of Baba Yaga. This book is about a girl named Agnieszka who lives in this valley that is surrounded by this cursed wood. At the head of the valley lives a man named the Dragon, and every 10 years the dragon comes into the villages and he takes one of the young women to come live in his tower with him. Nobody knows what exactly happens to these young women when they go live in the tower with the dragon, but the idea is that the dragon is protecting the valley from this evil wood. I have already read this, and so I'll be talking about it more in my December wrap-up, but I do want to say that the way that Naomi Novik tells the story is very lyrical and captivating. The next book from my parents is Never Never Part 1 by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher, and I don't know much about this story, but I do know that I absolutely love Taryn Fisher's writing, and I have really enjoyed quite a few of Colleen Hoover's novels also, so I'm really looking forward to see how these two pair up to write a story. Last up, my parents got me this book set series of Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I keep meaning to get into the series, but I just haven't started it yet, so I'm really happy that now I have the complete series so that I can just plow my way through it when I decide to get to it, hopefully sometime soon, maybe in the next month or two. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for all of those wonderful books. Next, I'm going to show you the books that were given to me by my grandparents, so thank you, Grandma Judith and Grandpa Tom. First off, we have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss in this big floppy paperback edition. Now, I am so excited to read this book because I've heard nothing but good things about this series. This is a high fantasy novel, but supposedly this series is incredibly accessible, and the main character, Quoth, is supposed to be very funny, so I'm looking forward to that. This first novel follows him when he's fairly young, so I think through his middle school years maybe. And then to follow that up, they also got me The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the second book. And this series is chronicling this man's life and how he got to be so incredibly famous and legendary. So I'm not entirely sure what ages this second book follows, but I'm really looking forward to just following up the first one with this one. And then to top it off, they also got me The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss, which is not the third book in this series. It's very short, but I guess it is a companion novel of some sort. Lastly, my grandparents got me this book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and this book is about working on pushing your own upper limit so that you believe that you can do more. It's a self-help book. I think that it will hopefully help me do bigger, better things in this upcoming year of 2016. This next stack of books was given to me by my aunt and family, so thank you very much. To begin with, we have Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley, and he's the author of the Scott Pilgrim series. Now, I haven't actually read the Scott Pilgrim series, but I did watch the movie and I thought it was very funny, so I was really hoping to get this. The artwork in this is really kind of cool. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but it's almost manga, almost anime looking, with the huge heads and the big eyes. And what I really love about this book jacket is that it only covers part of the book, so you still have this little star peeking out here, and then the actual hardback is pretty neat too. I did read this one on Christmas. It was a pretty fast read, as most graphic novels are, but I was pleased with the length and I really overall liked the story. I'll talk about that more in my wrap-up. Next, they gave me Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Brosh, and this book came out early this year or maybe late last year, and everyone has loved it. It just flew off the bookshelves of the bookstore that I used to work at, so I was really looking forward to getting my hands on it, and I did read through it, and there were a lot of laugh out loud funny moments. I was kind of skeptical because the artwork isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but the way that she tells her stories is really very hilarious. Next, we have We Should Hang Out Sometime by Josh Sundquist, and this is a memoir written by a YouTuber, Josh, who is talking about his love life gone wrong. This book is written from the perspective of his 25-year-old self, and He's reminiscing on his love life, or his lack thereof. At 25 years old, Josh realizes that he's never had a real girlfriend, and so this book is him trying to parse out exactly why that is. And lastly, for my aunt, I have Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, another YouTuber. I'm sure many of you know her, Zoella. She's really cool. This book I'm not 100% sure about. I have the feeling it might be cheesy. It's about a girl who becomes famous online, but it might be good. I'm not sure. I want to find out for myself, especially after all of the controversy that surrounded this book when it initially came out, because Zoe Sugg made so much money off of the initial book sales with this first novel, and then about a week later it turned out that she didn't write the book herself, that she had hired a ghostwriter to write the actual story, that she just came up with the backbone of the story and then had someone else write it for her. So I'm really curious to see how that worked out and what I think about it. The last section of this video is going to be a set of books that I purchased for myself from Book Outlet with some Christmas money. The first one we have is The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness, and if you guys have watched my videos for a long time, you'll know that I absolutely adore Patrick Ness. He wrote probably my favorite book of all time, A Monster Calls, and he's also written a book that I didn't like, which is The Rest of Us Just Live Here. So I'm curious about this one. This is actually an adult novel surrounding some sort of folklore, and I don't know anything else about it, and I don't want to. I just kind of want to jump into this and see if the story captivates me or not. Next, I have Ashes to Ashes and Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Many of you will know Jenny Han as the author of the To All the Boys I Loved Before series or the Summer I Turned Pretty series. The first book that I actually read of hers was Burn for Burn, which is the first book in this series here. So I never continued on with it, but now that I have read some of her other works, I decided that I wanted to jump into this series again. Next, I have some more YouTuber books that are probably fairly superficial, but I wanted to read them anyway. So the first one is Beneath the Glitter by Ellen Blair Fowler, and the second is Where Beauty Lies by those two girls. And I've enjoyed watching their YouTube videos on and off for probably 5 or 6 years, so I'm really curious to see what kind of story they came up with. Another book that I picked up is Carry On Warrior, The Power of Embracing Your Messy, Beautiful Life by Glennon Doyle Melton. Now, this book was blurbed by both Brené Brown and Gretchen Rubin, whose work I really like. This book is a memoir about motherhood, and though I'm not a mother myself, I'm very interested in children and developmental psychology, so I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. The next book that I picked up is a psychology one called Flourish by Martin E.P. Seligman, and this book is, well, as it says, a visionary new understanding of happiness and well-being, and I'm also really interested in positive psychology. I am a psychology major in college, just in case you weren't aware of that. So this kind of thing really fascinates me. Dr. Seligman was actually the founder of the positive psychology movement, so I'm just really looking forward to seeing his perspective on what makes people happy. Getting close to the end here, we have The Edge of Never by J.A. Redmersky. This is a new adult romance, which I haven't read that many of. I've read Colleen Hoover, I've read Taryn Fisher, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of new adult fiction. This book is about a girl from a small town who decides to up and leave her life and go on an adventure trying to find herself or find her place in the world, but I guess instead she finds a man. Clearly, that's what new adult romances are about, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know what I think. Last, but certainly not least, we have Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I have been wanting to read this book ever since I watched the movie when it first came out. I'm honestly not a huge zombie fan, but my dad really is, so he drags me into watching a bunch of zombie-related films and video games and the like. And so when I watched this, I wasn't really looking forward to it, but then I got into it and I absolutely adored the premise, which is that hopefully love can bring you back from the dead. If you're a zombie, anyway. Anyways, I've heard from some other booktubers that the book is actually superior to the film, so I'm looking forward to seeing if that is also my opinion. Okay guys, those are all of the books that I received for Christmas and I purchased myself with Christmas money. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I know I've been on a bit of a YouTube hiatus, but I just got back from California and I have my bookshelves again, so I'm really happy and looking forward to getting back into BookTube. I hope that everyone continues to enjoy this holiday season, which is all about spreading love and joy and kindness and being with your family. It's not about getting things, it's not about buying things. However, I am very appreciative of everything that I did receive this year from my family, so thank you. And thank you to everybody who watches my videos because it means a lot to me, and I will have another one coming out for you very soon. So until then, I do have an Instagram account and a Goodreads page. Both of them are at Alora Smilez. Alright, until next time, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye!